Hello, everyone. Welcome to Football Unplugged with me, Saatvik. In today's episode, we are going to talk about one of the most important tactics of modern day football and something that almost all the players and all the fans are intrigued and in love with playing from the back or building up play from the back. Unlike the older generations who would rather huff the ball upfield and not concede a goal trying to play from the back, a lot of modern day managers would rather or are great fans of playing the ball from the back and would rather take risks of conceding a goal while trying to do this rather than probably kick the ball upfield. But why is this something that has made a lot of managers fan of this particular tactic? Right? The simple answer to this question, which is the why of the tactic, is the extra man advantage that the team has, which are on the ball. So imagine the ball is with the goalkeeper. So it's necessarily a 11v10 situation if you sort of think that the opposition goalkeeper isn't going to take part in the play. So while attacking, the team with the possession would always have a man advantage playing from the back. So this is one reason that a lot of managers have started to favor this particular tactic. But also a rule change that took place a couple of years ago, wherein center backs are now allowed to be inside the D and receive the ball or give the pass inside the D to the goalkeeper or other defenders. This has also ensured that the playing from the back, which was sort of used a lot by Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, is now being used by a lot of teams owing to this particular change of rule. Right. So we'll be analyzing playing from the back with two different sets of formations, which will be a four from the back, a four defender formation, and in another we'll be analyzing a 3-4-3 or three defenders creating a play from the back. So again, we were analyzing, let's say, Pep Guardiola's Barcelona from 2008 to 2011. We had Victor Valdez in goal, and we had the four defenders and three midfielders consisting of Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta. So a lot of times, what would usually happen is if a team is playing out wide or is not narrow or is not compact, Sergio Busquets would drop down. Sergio Busquets would drop down in the middle, and the two defenders, the two centre backs, would take up wide positions and hence create a four-man defense, including the goalkeeper, right? Which would ultimately invite the opposition midfielders to come and press, and that is what exactly Pep Guardiola wanted, was to people to come and press, and then the excellent ball players of Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Dani Alves, Lionel Messi would take advantage of them pressing and then leaving a huge gap between their defensive line and the midfield. So in a case where the defense was not compact, Sergio Busquets would usually come in, create a defensive three along with the two centre backs. And if not, if the teams are very compact, if the two opposition attackers were already, pressing this opposition centre backs, Victor Valdez would usually play the ball out wide to Dani Alves or Eric Abidal, who were excellent on the ball. And once Dani Alves has the ball, he would have options to either pass it on to the winger, which was Pedro in a case, or Lionel Messi in some cases, or with Eric Abidal, who would probably have a Thierry Henry or Xavi or Iniesta to receive the ball from him. Now, while playing for the back, one would think that the strikers, the front three, or the midfield might not have a big role to play, but off the ball, they probably have the most important role that they could play while starting play from the back. The idea is they would leave players upfield, which would sort of force the opposition team to keep a defender with them, right? So let's say they're having a compact team with spaces on the wide for the fullbacks. Pedro on the right would usually would pin the opposition left back to him so that he cannot go ahead. In case the opposition left backs wants to go ahead and press Dani Alves, Pedro would have empty spaces, and the chances of Pedro then creating a goal scoring opportunity would increase tremendously. Hence, teams would not press, and uh, Dani Alves would have an open pass to Pedro and or to Messi, who are excellent ball players, who would probably take the ball upfield and hence start the attack from the goal kick. So this is how building from the back was usually done by Pep Guardiola when while he was managing Barcelona or while he was managing Manchester City in the initial couple of years. But something new that Pep Guardiola has invented, let's say, over the last couple of years, is this fancy inverted fullback. And we've heard a lot of this during commentary. Ki inverted fullback kya hota hai? Inverted fullback. What does an inverted fullback do? So, an inverted fullback was something that Pep Guardiola created, we can say, during his time at Manchester City, wherein what would ideally happen is he would have a three line defense, including the goalkeeper, wherein let's say Ruben Diaz would be very close to the goalkeeper Edison, and John Stones would go out right, and hence. And on the contrary, on the left side, usually Zinchenko would go upfield, and Jao Cancelo from the right back would sort of come inside and make it a two in the midfield alongside the defensive midfielder, which was in a lot of cases uh, Fernandinho or Rodri, right? Similarly, over the last couple of years, when Zinchenko's playing time got less and Jao Cancelo used to play on the left, Jao Cancelo would go upfield and would take a very high position on the left wing, and Kyle Walker would come narrow down alongside Rodri, and thus would create a formation of a 3-2-4, right? Wherein the three, including the goalkeeper and the two centre backs, the two ahead of them would be Kyle Walker and Fernandinho slash Rodri, and then they would have the midfielder and the wingers ahead, wherein it would be a Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, a Riyad Mahrez, and Jao Cancelo, who is already moved ahead on the opposition side. So this is how build-up play from the back usually takes place in a formation that has four defenders, and particularly taking example of two types of build-up play that Pep Guardiola has done with two of his different teams. Now, moving on to how build-up play takes place in a three at the back formation, and we are going to talk about Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea that won the Champions League, defeated Manchester City in the Champions League final, and was as competitive as any Chelsea team over the last couple of years, owing to the build-up play he had from the back and intelligence player positioning in the 3-4-3 that he usually played with. So, what would usually happen with Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea is there would be three centre backs, which would be Antonio Rudiger, Thiago Silva, or Christensen, and Aspilicueta, who would be the three centre backs, right? What would usually happen is they would form a back four, including Mendy. So, what would usually happen is Aspilicueta would go on to the extreme right, would make space on the extreme right. Rudiger would usually be a ball carrier. A lot of times you would have seen under Thomas Tuchel, Rudiger went on a 30-40 yard run and, taking shots from 30-40 yards out, because that was the instruction given to him by Thomas Tuchel of playing from the back. And in scenarios that Antonio Rudiger would probably not take a run forward, what would happen is Aspilicueta on the right would invite opposition defenders or opposition midfielders to come and intercept or take the ball away from him. And since there are three at the back, Reece James on one side and Chilwell or Alonso on the other side would act as wing backs, right? So Aspilicueta, let's say Aspilicueta on the right has the ball. He has an option to pass to Reece James on the right, right? And a lot of times, let's say when the opposition fullback would be close to Reece James or would pin him down or would sort of cut passing options, it would leave the center open. It would leave an opportunity for Mason Mount to come deep, or for Jorginho to invent space in the half, or in create space in the middle, hence creating an easy pass for Espilicueta to start playing the ball from the back. And similar thing happened even on the left side, wherein Rudiger would start the play, and he would either pass the ball to Marcus Alonso or Ben Chilwell on the left. And if those people were covered, Kovacic would either drop deep, receive the ball from him, and then start taking the attack forward. So this was how Thomas Tuchel beat Man City's build up play from the back, or had a different shape, countering Man City's build up play. And this was how build up plays usually take place when there are three defenders at the back, hence creating a lot of passing options for the player on the ball, that is the three center backs, or even a chance for the three center backs to huff the ball upfield with the center forward or the target man. In a lot of cases, that was Romelu Lukaku, who would then flick it on or take the ball to the chest and then pass it on to the attacking wingers or the attacking midfielders. So this is how build-up play in modern day football takes place, taking into account two of the most successful teams, or two of the most successful managers who are using build-up play fabulously. And yeah, this is one reason why build-up play or playing from the back is so much in vogue these days, because of the efficiency and because of the attacking threat or greater chance of having ball control in the midfield, which ultimately is what a manager like Pep Guardiola needs. So this was it in today's episode, where we discussed about playing from the back. I would love to hear your feedback, and I would love to hear what are the other tactical analysis that you would want me to do. Any other thing owing to formations, owing to tactical analysis or match analysis, I would love to hear your feedback, and I would love to hear your suggestions. Thank you.